Howdy, Sergey Drachev photo here, recording from Marion, Illinois, USA. Yesterday I did something crazy. I was looking for a lens. I'm sorry to say, but I had to get rid of the my telephoto lens, the one I've been shooting wildlife with, and now I'm trying to do more scenery and more street photography. So I wanted a short, like a wide angle zoom, right? And I did some research and I did not like what Nikon was offering, so this is my Nikon D7200, and I just picked up this designed in Japan, but they don't say where it's assembled. So it's a TAMRON 10 to 24 millimeter f3.5 to 4.5 Di2 VC HLD. So this is the second generation. Don't mix this up. If you go on Amazon, you will see them selling together for the same price, and I believe this is a better lens. And the way to tell generation 2 from generation 1 is that this one is black, you know, kind of like all new TAMRON lenses. You see they're like really, you know, dark color, right? Like with the previous one, it looks different. So that's the actual lens. I didn't do any testing yet, but I just saw. So on the left here we have VC on off. We have AF MF, autofocus, manual focus, and there's a very small focus ring, right? And then the zoom, and it's, you know, it's very short. It's pretty much goes like so this is 10 millimeters, right? And this is 24, so it hardly moves, you know. So which is and it's a bit heavy, probably not too bad, but definitely heavier than, let's say, 35 millimeter 1.8, but it feels very good. You know, you can still shoot with one hand, like on the street. And so yeah, that's one tip I can mention here, is that make sure you're buying, if you want to buy this, make sure you're buying a generation 2, not generation 1. I think it's model B23. Let me just double check. Yeah, so the box looks like this, right? Yeah, okay, so over here it says B023. So B23, that's the generation 2 TAMRON for Nikon. Okay. And so minimum object distance for focusing is 24 millimeters or 9.4 inches, you know, which is pretty good. So it has VC, vibration compensation, and has some kind of a HLD, means high low torque modulated drive. So I guess they changed the autofocusing system, and it has a fluorine coating on the lens. The filter size is 77 millimeters. It comes with a lens hood, and I know on Amazon you can buy a pack where besides the hood you also get the actual TAMRON dock, right? Whatever that thing is called. Sigma calls them the dock, right? Where you can adjust the focus and load some software. But unfortunately Amazon, there was some, I was looking at Amazon Canada and Amazon.com, and I was in Canada when I was doing this. But I'm in my semi-truck going to New Mexico, right? So Amazon Canada had again some third-party offerings, nothing from Amazon itself, and they were third-party providers. I don't like that. Sometimes you have problems, you know, when you buy something. It's hosted by Amazon, but the actual seller is not Amazon. You know what I'm saying? But you still buy it from Amazon website, but it's not shipped by Amazon. I prefer to stay away from deals like that. And plus, so the waiting time was 1 month. I guess they were buying them on a piece-by-piece basis, you know, and they ship them directly from the manufacturer. And so I went to Amazon.com, and Amazon.com had they had that thing in stock with like a pack with a Tamron dock. It was $4.99 US, and the shipping, I think the shortest, I tried different locations in the States where I can pick this up on my way to New Mexico, and I think I did not like that Amazon was the shortest was like 2 days, 2 business days, you know, and I needed it quicker. So I remembered about this big shop in New York City, B&H Photo, and I still have I bought some something. Oh, I bought this from them. My favorite little gadget for YouTube videos, you know, for my trucking channel, without this one. So this was like 20 bucks, you know, but such a useful thing. You just, yeah, I can attach a GoPro here, or I can attach a camera, and I can attach it to any, you know, part of my truck and just shoot outside. So I got this from B&H, and so I have a username, I have a password. So I went back and I saw what the B&H was offering for this lens. It was the same price, $4.99 US, and they could have shipped to Canada, but you know, I'm going to New Mexico. I like the look of those deserts there, you know, those open spaces. I really wanted to have a lens, and because I sold that zoom big lens, I only had the camera, the Nikon D7500, and so I wanted to buy it and be shipped to US as soon as possible. So I found a UPS customer center. On my way, I called my dispatch. I said, how are you guys routing me, through Indianapolis or Chicago? They said 94 to Chicago and then down. Okay, so I found a customer center right there, and so when I bought this, I made sure I chose the shipping method was UPS next day air. So it was 35 bucks, but I still cannot believe it that on Wednesday at 2 o'clock I'm sitting in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, and I'm sitting in Starbucks, and I go to B&H Photo website. I place the order, and then I'm checking the progress. It was verified, and it says order sent to the warehouse, and the delivery was supposed to be before 10 a.m. on Thursday, on the next day. And next day I get a call from somebody. Is this Sergey Drachev? So yeah, like some kind of weird, you know, area code. And I was just crossing the border, so we got disconnected. So I called back because I thought it was UPS, because who else? Nobody, you know, I don't get that many calls. If it's dispatch, I know it's dispatch, right? If it's one of my friends, I see their names on my phone. And I said, is this UPS? You guys are probably holding a package for me. Oh yeah, I talked to you and you hang up on me. I said, ma'am, I didn't hang up. It's just that you may not realize this, but when you're crossing the border between two countries, or even when you're crossing this state line, or you know, the border between two provinces in Canada, you lose the signal sometimes because, you know, you switch towers. But especially in US, when you go from Canada to US or from US to Canada, you switch providers, you know, like my phone uses a Rogers in Canada and AT&T in the States. And so she thought I hung up on her. She was not too happy. I said, and I don't think she believed me when I said that I just dropped the call. You know, the call was dropped, like, you know, call AT&T, complain. But anyway, so I picked this up. Everything was cool. Like I said, I placed the order on Wednesday at 2 p.m. from Canada, and I picked up the lens. It was there like 9:30 a.m. on the next day in the place I found near Chicago, and I picked it up around 3 o'clock. And B&H has a policy of you have to verify the condition of your purchase within 2 business days. If there's any damage, you gotta let them know within 2 business days, otherwise they will not reimburse you, they will not do the return. And so yesterday was already dark, you know, I wanted to show you guys unboxing. Sometimes people want to see that, right? But it was already dark in the truck, and I really wanted to check, make sure that the lens is fine. And I did the quick unboxing myself. and now I have the lens set up. And one thing I'm kind of like wary about is that some people on the internet were saying that that VC sometimes does actually more harm than good. And one guy was saying that with the VC on, the pictures were not as sharp, and so he turned it off. So I want to try that. So it's not very good time of the day to do any shooting, but I'm sitting at the truck stop here waiting for my permit. I have oversized load, like I said, going to the Mexican border, so I have some time now. I want to go just around the truck stop, see what I can find. And I got a monopod, so I'll try to shoot a video, and we'll try experimenting with and without the VC and see what happens. Let's start with the video, and the pictures will follow after the video. So the light is very harsh right now, right? But I was not looking to make any blockbusters, but just to see how the lens performs and how it feels on the camera in the hand. And I couldn't just help but smile, you know, when I was shooting at 15 millimeters. So I'll just refer to the focal distance as the effective, which on my crop sensor camera Nikon, which with 1.5 factor, so 10 to 24 equals 15 to 35, and that's one of the major reasons why I bought it, is that 35 millimeters would be very helpful for street photography, right? But it's been a while since I had such a wide angle lens. The widest I had before was I had a Nikon 20 millimeters 1.8 prime on that I used on a full frame, so it was actual 20 millimeters. And I remember that one was creating, you know, distortion, especially like when you were shooting traffic and there was a car right in front of you. The car became like 1 mile long, you know. I think this one is somehow better, and so I started shooting at 15 millimeters on this one, and I don't see, you know, too many curvy lines. It looks very nice, and all these pictures were taken. I changed the picture control from automatic +1 I had before. I decided to go with what I had on my previous cameras. It's a vivid +1. So vivid and then quick adjust +1, and then I increased the sharpness from 5 to 6, because the standard sharpness is 4 in the vivid picture control. So when you go quick adjust +1, it becomes 5. And so I left everything like that, like contrast, saturation, but I just changed the sharpness to 6, because I find it's helpful on crop sensor cameras, because they don't get as much light, so pictures are not as sharp as on a full frame camera. And I see these lens, so at 15 millimeters it's super great for landscapes and real estate photography and even portraits. And 35 millimeters is definitely next time I'm somewhere in a town with lots of tourists, you know, where I don't stick out with this camera, I'll definitely try to do some street photography. So very happy with the purchase, and especially happy with the service I got from B&H Photo in New York City. Super fast shipping, the same product I ordered, right? Brand new lens, excellent packaging, no damage. So highly recommended, both the seller and the lens, and the UPS did a great job with getting this lens to me overnight with next day air.